Okay, so in this training webinar, we're going to talk about how to make 6 and 7 figures a year consulting. And if most of you know what I do, I'm a joint venture broker, joint venture expert, and I also train joint venture brokers around the world. One of the things that I get paid quite a lot for, to be honest with you, is consulting. And apart from the joint venture brokering, and one of my actually I would call him one of my mentors, a guy called Martin Howie. Who's actually, I've trained probably over 50, 60 joint venture brokers around the world. This guy's trained over 4,000 consultants. So I wanted to bring Martin on because there's a lot of buzz going on right now about consulting and how you can take what you already know, or even without any solid business knowledge, go out and become a very successful consultant. So with further ado, I'm going to, in a few minutes, just bring Martin on and get him to start rolling forward with the training. But obviously, again, before we get started, I did also offer everyone on this webinar a free 7-figure consulting checklist. Now, what I've done is I've combined my checklist with Martin's, and this is something that we give to all of our students on our high-ticket training programs, and you'll get a copy of that. And you need to stay on the webinar right to the end. I can basically go to webinar tracks everyone on the webinar. So if you stay right to the end, I'll be able to get your names, and I've already got your contact details, and I will get a copy out to you, and you'll be able to get a copy of that 7-figure consulting checklist. Okay, so make sure you stay till the end to get a copy of that consulting checklist. So I'm going to now, further ado, just bring on Martin, and I'll pass it on to Martin so he can continue. Hi Martin, are you there? Hello? Okay. Martin, can you hear me?
I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to pass on the controls to you now, if you give me a second. And then once your screen comes up, then you should be good to go.
What are you seeing right now, Sohail? Because I'm not sure what you're seeing. I have 2 screens here, and I'm not sure which screen you're seeing.
I can see a Microsoft Word document right now.
Okay, now here's the problem I'm just going to run into, I'm sure.
That's okay. If you just start the slide where you are, I can see it from there.
Well, you really can't, because it shows up on a separate screen.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to confirm earlier.
Sure.
So what I'm going to have to do is just go through the slides without showing the full screen then.
Okay.
So this isn't the ideal way to do it, but it's the only way I can do it right now, Sohail.
That's okay.
So,
normally when I work with people who use the Mac version, it's very similar, so that's fine. People can watch it and they'll be able to absorb the presentation, and it's being recorded as well, so that's fine.
Well, it'll work fine. It's just that I won't be able to do the reveals on it. So I have 2 screens, and that's why I wanted to make sure that you could see the correct screen when we set this up. But it's not going to work that way. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us. What I've done is created a PowerPoint presentation so you can see what we're doing and how we can create a full or a part-time 6 or 7-figure business without any contacts, without any connections, or without any products. And this is very important because some people say, I need to have contacts, I need to have some connections, I need to have a product in order to get started. And that's really not the case. I'm going to show you how to do it. We have 6 children. We have 31 grandchildren now. I'm a 3-time stage 4 cancer survivor. So I've been around for a while and trying to fight this cancer for 4 years, and we've got it in remission right now. Still undergoing chemo treatments on a regular basis, but I'm doing fine. Athletically, I've done well. I was a 2-time Arizona State cycling champion, 2-time national cycling time trial champion, 8-time World Games, and 3-time World Games triathlon. So I've had a lot of good success as far as athletically. Professionally, I was a co-founder of the Quantum Organization, co-founder of Rapid Results Marketing, founder of Top Line Business Solutions. We got about 3,863 consultants in 48 countries, founder of Seven Figure Consulting, and now the founder of Breakaway Business Solutions. I've been in business for about 48 years. The last company I had, I sold. I've been had that for about 18 years, and that's when we developed a six multi-billion-dollar businesses. Sold 3 businesses for 8 figures. My clients are major corporations, small and medium-sized business enterprises, speakers, authors, consultants, coaches, local businesses, private consulting, group coaching, and masterminds. I've worked with a lot of different businesses in a lot of different industries. I've authored or co-authored 29 different books. So I've been very successful as far as that goes. My 2 newest consulting books are Seven Figure Consulting and Killing It Big Time as a Business Consultant in Today's Tough Economic Times. What I've done in those books is take you step by step right through the process of consulting, which I'm going to be detailing to you in this webinar. I've also authored and created numerous courses and products, all kinds of different manuals and printed products and recorded products. My latest one is our newest flagship course called Breakaway Business Solutions, and that's what you're going to be getting when you come to our program. My very personal journey, I had cancer, like I mentioned. I went from 182 pounds down to 130 pounds in a matter of just a few months. 6 different surgeries, chemo, radiation, and all that, but still, I was able to get back on top of it. I wrote a book called It's Okay to Be Scared, but Never Give Up. Co-authored that with a friend of mine, Jim Palmer. And the proceeds of that are being donated to Stand Up to Cancer, an organization that's created by Katie Couric after she lost her husband from the same disease and illness that I had. I have corporate sponsors. We have a Breakaway, Business Solutions, Seven Figure Consultants, Top Line. They're all collaborating together along with some of our other sponsors, Office Max and Impress, Speak to Sell, Enterprise. And other ones to donate money to Stand Up to Cancer. Our goal is to raise $1 million in 2 years to help fight and research cancer. What I found out in my journey through this cancer is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it made me focus on some of the things that are the most important to me. And that's my family. Like I mentioned, we have 6 kids, 31 grandkids. Here's a picture of some of our kids anyway. We couldn't get all of them together for this particular photo, but that's what's important to me. And what's really important to me is not what I do for work. It's what the work allows me to do. It allows me to create the income that I need and have the time that I need to spend with those things that are most important, and that's my family. Taking care of my family, my children, my grandchildren, making sure that they have what they need to be successful in life. Our time is precious and limited. We only have a certain amount of time, and the clock is ticking. The question is, what are you willing to trade your life for right now? And that's what you're doing. Whatever you're doing right now is taking up some of your life, some of your time. And so what are you different opportunities, and there's so many different ways to make money. The question is, how many of those things are realistic or doable for most people? Well, let's take a look. Some of the people out there on the internet are saying, here's how you can make $100,000 in a year. If you have ebooks, you only have to sell 167 of those at $50 a piece to make $100,000. 167 is a lot of ebooks to sell at $50. When was the last time you paid $50 for an ebook? You're going to get ebooks all day long for free. Teleseminars, $84 per month at $100 will make you $100,000. How many people really pay $100 anymore for a teleseminar, or $200 for a webinar, or $300 for audio products? You see, these are things that they're telling you out there on the internet marketers are trying to sell on how to make $100,000. But most of these things is just almost unrealistic. If I was going to sell, just go back to the ebooks for a minute, 167 per month. That's sales per month. How many the number of purchases. And how am I going to create that list? You've got to have some pretty massive lists. And when you get on the internet marketing scene, that's what people are trying to sell you, is how to build a list. And you see so many things out there about how to build a list. I'm going to show you how, with the consulting business, you don't have to have a big list. You can have a very small list and still make a tremendous amount of money with a lot less effort than you can here. And $100,000 is not very much money when you start comparing that to what you can make as a business consultant. So we'll get into that in just a minute. So here's a major question. How do I create a successful business that gives me the income that I need to provide the kind of lifestyle that I want for my family without it taking forever or without it costing me my life savings? But there's one thing you don't want to do is get into something that's going to cost you a fortune only to find out that you spent more money trying to get than you're going to end up making. Now, there are 4 critical questions that you need to know. First of all, is this a viable solution to a real market need? Whatever I'm getting into, is that a viable solution for a real market need? Secondly, are others currently succeeding at it? And then can I realistically succeed? I understand how somebody else can do that, but what about me? Can I succeed at this? And finally, where can I get the help I need to make it work and the support I need if I run into problems? So let's take each one of these questions individually. Is this a viable solution to a real market need? Well, first of all, we have to take a look at it and say who or what is the market for what I have to offer? Is there even a market out there? And if there is, what problems or challenges or difficulties do they have? Will this solution that I have solve or satisfy or alleviate, minimize, or even eliminate those problems that the market has? Next, does the market need it? Sometimes you have a product that they really don't need. And but next is, do they want it? There's a big difference between needs and wants. Some people say, let's find out what the people want and then sell them the needs. That's the wrong way to go about it. You better sell people what they want or they're not going to buy it. Things. And finally, will they pay for it? They may have a particular need and they need a particular product or solution, but they don't want to pay for it, or at least they don't want to pay what you want to charge for it. I'm going to show you how to get around that in a minute. There are 2 basic markets. The consumer market, where you sell business to consumer. That's selling to individuals, individual people. And coaching is a good example of that. When you sell to individuals, those people are spending their own money. Their payment for your services comes from your family finances. In other words, they've got to take money away from their family, maybe from Johnny's school lunches, or maybe from buying some clothes for their kids, or from their vacation fund. They're spending their own money. It has to come from their family finances. Families don't always operate on a budget, and they're spending money with you with after-tax dollars. In other words, they've already been taxed on those dollars. Sometimes it's difficult to get the decision makers to agree on the value of investing. In other words, you have a father and a husband and a wife, and sometimes the husband wants to do something, but the wife doesn't see the value in it, or vice versa. So sometimes it's difficult to get the decision makers to agree. And finally, you're limited to how much you can charge an individual. If you're going to charge somebody for coaching, how much can you charge them? If you charge them, say, $500 a month, it's not very much money for you as a coach. But for them, $500 a month taking out of their family finances is a lot of money. Now, for 3 months, you've been charging them $500 a month, so you've got $1,500 that you charge them over a 3-month period. And then one of the spouses comes back and says, look, you've already spent $1,500 from our family's finances. I haven't seen any change. When are we going to start monetizing that or getting back a return on the investment that we made? So you see, business to consumer isn't necessarily a great market to go after. Now, let's talk about business. Selling to businesses, like consulting, they're not spending their own money. That's company money. They're before tax dollars, so it's a tax deduction. The government is going to pay for part of the investments that they're making with you. Most businesses operate on a budget. They know the value of investing to gain an advantage over their competitors. And that's an important thing. Businesses are already spending money. They're spending money on advertising, they're spending money on marketing, spending money on employees. They understand the value of investing in their business to gain that competitive advantage. They're willing to take chances to get a return on their investment. And they're accustomed to writing big checks. Businesses write big checks all the time for their rent, for their wages, their salaries, for products, for marketing, for advertising. They're used to spending money. And so that's a good place to go. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So what is the market? Well, there's a ton of markets out there. You know that we need to go where the market is. It's not with individuals, it's with businesses. Businesses out there that are looking for how can they gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace? How can they gain an advantage over their competition? How can they deal in a down economy? How can they deal when the competition is up and the economy is down? And if you look around, almost any shopping center, almost any strip center, almost any mall, up and down Main Street in business, up and down High Street in business, you'll find all kinds of businesses that can use, that not only need, but can use your services. Now, when you take a look at what a business owner has to do, they wear many hats. If you just look at the gold slides, the gold parts in this slide, you'll see that under each one of these major areas, sales, finances, operations, and marketing, there's a ton of other things they have to do. Now, business owners, for the most part, have not been trained in every one of these different areas. They're really good at certain things in their business, but other things they're not really good at. And most businesses are not very good in a number of areas. Now, let me just give you an example. If you line up 100 business owners and ask them what they want more of, 95 of those business owners will probably tell you they want more customers. Well, we know more customers are going to bring in more top-line revenue, but it may not trickle down into bottom-line profits. And the reason is because the cost of generating the lead, plus the cost of converting that lead into a buying customer, plus the cost of delivering the product or service to that individual, may add up to more than what they actually make on the sale. So sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 different sales before they even break even on an ad. And you know it yourself, you've seen businesses that will run several ads, and if you have a business yourself, you may have done this yourself, where you run an ad and you pay a certain amount of money for it and you don't even get enough business in to break even on the ad. Sometimes it takes several different sales, repeat sales, in order to make that money back. So that's just one example. Now, we also know that if they bring in more customers, they say, I want more customers, they may, those customers may bring in more challenges. We need to have a bigger office or a bigger place of business. We may have to have more employees. We may have to have more products. We have more service. We have more complaints. We have more customers bring in a whole lot of things besides just more revenue and less profits. So maybe what they really need is, instead of more customers, maybe they need more money from each customer. Now, when you look at a business, there's really only 2 ways to grow a business. When I talk about growing a business, I'm talking about growing the profits of a business. Because at the end of the day, profits are the only thing that matters. The revenue doesn't really matter. It's what you have left after you paid all of your expenses, after you paid all of your operating costs and all of your wages and salaries. That's what matters, what's left. There's 2 ways to grow the profits. Make more money and spend less money. If you keep your expenses the same and you make more money, the difference is profits. If you keep your revenue or your turnover the same and you reduce your costs or expenses, the difference is profits. Now, of course, if you can do both of those, make more money and spend less money, then you've got a tremendous difference in profits. And that's what some of these business owners don't really understand. And when you get in to start working with them, you really find out what they don't understand. And I can give you 3 questions that you can ask a business owner, and you can find out exactly how much they know about business and how much they know about their business. And you'll find out what the real opportunities are for you. Well, let's move on and talk about a couple of other things. First of all, there was a survey done, and they came up with 4 basic business concerns. 87% of business owners complain that they don't have enough customers or sales. Their profit margins are being squeezed. There's too much competition, and they're not getting the rewards they want for their time and their financial investment. In other words, what they've invested in the business. So what can we do to solve this, to change that? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, most businesses have a business, don't have a business, they have a job. And for many people, that job, J-O-B, stands for just over broke. They've left their former job to create and live a dream. You see, if they had a dream, they want to do something on their own, create their own business and work for themselves. Well, their current employers working them harder than they worked before. They're working them longer. They're paying them less. There's no structure or plan. They're living month to month. They have no exit strategy. They have no idea how they're going to get out of business. They're looking for a more demanding boss. Now, let me go back to that exit strategy for a minute. So many people go into business just thinking they're going to run this business right along without any thought of how they're going to get out of business. Now, all of us are going to get out of business at some point. We're either going to die we're going to sell the business, we're going to go broke, we're going to take the business public, we're going to get acquired by some other business. In some way, we're going to go out of business. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to go out of business on your own terms instead of whatever happens? We see that all the time, and our consultants go out and start working with businesses and find out they don't have any kind of an exit strategy. There's a great opportunity for them to go in and start to do things to change that business. Or you want to be able to build your business up to where it creates you a really good income and then gets you to the point where you can sell it and then take that money and go do something else. So that's what we really try to strive with our business owners. Now, if you look at this little chart, you know what happens? If you look at the blue line, we get less in business, we get less traffic and sales and tighter margins, and that decreases our profitability. On the other hand, we take a look at the green line, and we get more and tougher competition and more knowledgeable customers, and business gets tougher. And that all leads to the financial stability of the company, which means it's unprofitable. So we want to turn that around and make things different. So the way we do that, we've got to change our thinking and our activities. Albert Einstein said you can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking that we used when you created them. And Joe Polish, a great friend of mine and a good marketer, says, the skills that got you out of Egypt different. We need to take a look at our thinking. We need to take a look at the things that we're doing, our activities, and see how they're working. The next question then that we had, our second question, are others currently succeeding at this type of a business? Well, let me give you a couple of ideas here, a couple of thoughts. Others are doing that. Lake 30, one of our consultants, right out of training, said I got one client at $1,500 a month, plus 25% of the increase, and another at 12% of the increase in my first month. John Beck sent out a flyer, got 23 responses, decided on working with 5. He ended up working with 3, and they all called him. He got too busy to handle them, so he had to put some on the back burner so he could handle them later. And then he had 2 clients, each paying him $1,000 a day. And then eventually he became the CEO of one of his clients' businesses. And he could still do some of his other consulting, but he became a CEO and took over that business. So he's had a very successful run. Karen Schwarzenchuber said, I signed the contract with the dairy company Thursday for $600 down, $1,000 a month retainer, and 25% of the increase in gross profit. Whoopee, it's fun. I'm having a blast, but also having a hard time sleeping at night. So many ideas running through my head. Now let me just go back and explain something about Karen. $600 is not very much, and $1,000 per month is not very much at all. This was 1 week out of her training that she did this. Now that's a very low amount compared to what other people are making, but you have to realize who her market is and who she's working with, and she was so excited just to get this one deal, but she's doing fine. Eddie Cross is another one. 1 week out of training, he went to the Philippines. He's from Philadelphia. He went to the Philippines on church business. Before he went, he contacted one of the church members down there and said, can you set up a seminar for me? So the church member in the Philippines set up 50 business owners for a 1.5-hour seminar. And so Eddie went in and promoted himself as a business solutions expert. He sold $1,000 of pre-course materials. These are not even materials he got into the training. These are materials he got before he came to the training. And so he was really thrilled to be able to go down there on church business to a sister church for the one he works for. He's a pastor. He went down to work at that business, did a seminar, and made $1,000 plus all of the expenses. So Eddie was off and running. He was very excited about what he was able to do, which wasn't much, but it was at least something right out of training that he was able to do and bring in some income. The next question is, can I realistically succeed at this business? Well, there's no reason why you can't, and here's why. We put together, when you come through the training, we give you this blueprint. It's 1.5 feet tall, it's almost 3 feet long, and it tells you step by step exactly what you do. If you're going to go on any kind of a trip or go any place or do anything, you need to have some type of a roadmap or a blueprint. You need to know exactly what you're going to do. Now on the left side of this blueprint, there are 2 columns. That's our client acquisition system. There are 8 different steps on acquiring clients. We show you exactly what to do, who to go after, step by step what to do. And then on the other side, there are 9 steps about how to generate more business for that client. What can you do? How can we generate, when I talk about generating more business, I'm talking about generating more profits. Not necessarily revenue, but generating more profits. Step by step, exactly how to go through the process. Now here's the cool thing. You go into a business owner, you sit down and say, unroll this and say, here's what I do. I want to show you how I run my business. It's very systematic. It's a process that's been proven over and over. We go through every single one of these steps in running my business. And when I work on your business, I do the exact same thing. And what you do then is you unroll another one that's blank. It has the headings on here, but we're going to build a custom blueprint, a custom roadmap for you to show you where the profits are in your business and how you can generate them. So I'm going to do for you exactly what I do in my business. And we're going to go through every one of these single steps. And we're going to show you where the money is and how you can find the greatest amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Then in the very right column, the very right-hand column, there are some additional income opportunities. It shows you where you can make some additional money, how you can create reports, and how you can create audios and videos and books and so on. So there's a number of different things that you can do there, not only for yourself, but for your business owners and your clients. So the first piece of the puzzle then, we need to have some effective client attraction methods. You see behind this, it talks about cold, behind this red sign here, it says cold calling, expensive direct mail campaigns, badgering friends and neighbors and relatives. That's old school. We don't do those kinds of things. We've got more effective ways to generate clients than going one of the things you're going to get, or some of the things you're going to get when you come through our training, you're going to get a book. I've written a book for you. Take a look on the left-hand side, and in the middle there, Creating Customers for Life. I've written these books for you. They're already written. They're ghost-written. They're written for you, and all you have to do is take my name off of it, put your name on it, take my picture off, put your picture on it, change the copyright to your own name, and you have a book. Now, if you want to go in and change something, add a story, add a chapter, change a couple of things around, add your own thoughts, you can certainly do that. But the book is already written for you. It's in your name, and you have permission to use that as your own book. Now, some people say, well, I can't do that because I didn't write the book. I don't feel comfortable with that. Then don't use it. But I can tell you this, that most people who write books today, the high-level people you see, Donald Trump and the sports figures, and all that, they don't write their own books. They might have somebody interview them and take their ideas and create a book for them, but most of those books are ghostwritten. Doing that. Would you mind if I put my name on here and your name as well, so we're co-author of the book, and that way I can have some credibility? That's fine. I don't mind doing that at all. We do that all the time. The point is you have books ready to go. And then you'll notice some CDs. Those CDs are interviews we do with you. So we'll sit down with you and interview you. I give you the questions. I give you the answers. We'll interview you. We'll record that. We burn it to a CD. Something like this. Hello and welcome to our program. I'm so glad because I've got Bill Jones on the phone today with us. Bill is a marketing and business development consultant. He's an expert at helping businesses find ways to generate more profits for their business. Now, Bill's here today to share some ideas with us about what we can do to make our businesses more profitable and take them to another level. Welcome, Bill. It's nice to have you with us. Well, thanks very much, Martin. Nice to be with you today. Well, Bill, let me just ask you, can you tell me some of the kinds of businesses that you really like to work with? And so Bill will tell me then a problem and what kind of solution we could apply to that business. So we do that. We go through a little thing. I already give you the whole script. At the end, I'll say, well, Bill, if somebody wanted to learn more about what you could do for their business, how would they get in touch with you? And you give us a contact information. Now we have a 10 or 12 or 15-minute video, or not video, rather audio, that we burn it to CD, and now you have that to go into a business owner to give them, to let them know what kind of work you do and who are the best kinds of clients for you that you like to work with, and some of the things that you can do to help them in their business. Then on the lower left, you'll see a couple of reports, and on the right, there's a couple more reports there. And we have about 23 different reports that we give you. Now, I want you to think about something for a minute. You and I both go in to see a business owner. I drop a business card on the table, And you come in with a box and it has a book, it has a couple of CDs, it has a couple of reports, a sheet that says 10 reasons why you can't afford not to do business with us, and then it has I might be 100 times better consultant than you, but I've got a business card and you've got a box of stuff. You see, you're the one who's now got the advantage. I don't stand an advantage. I don't stand a chance here because you have set yourself apart as a consultant, somebody who's in business, somebody who has a list of things or box of things that shows that you're somebody. You've written a book, you've been interviewed and recorded, you've got some reports that have your name on it. All those reports, you take my name off and you put your name on, they're done for you. In addition to that, we have several marketing pieces that you can use. Give me 120 minutes of your undivided attention, and I'll teach you 4 hot marketing strategies that can flood your business with customers, no matter what condition the economy is in. So that's the flyer that you can, that's one side of the flyer. Then on the inside of the flyer, there's the inside of the flyer that has additional information. Then you have some additional postcards and marketing materials and things that you provide exceptional value. That's the second piece to the puzzle. How can we provide exceptional value? Well, a couple of things. We need to take a look at the cost of customer attrition. Here's the question. You want to grow your customer base by 10%, but your attrition rate is 20%. How many new customers do you need? Now you ask a business owner that, and they'll say 30%. We've got to replace the 20% that we lost, and we've got to gain that 10% that we want for growth. Now that's what most business owners are going to say to you, but that's the wrong answer. You see, we're trying to provide them some real value. That's what I said before, some exceptional value. So let's walk through this and see how it works. If you currently have 1,000 customers, and you want to grow by 10%, that means you want to have 1,100 new customers or 1,100 customers. But let's say you lose 20% of those. That means you lose 200 customers rather. That gives you 800 customers. So that difference then is really 37.5%, not 30%, but 37.5%. That's critical for you to understand. So if you have a 20% conversion rate, in other words, 20% of the people you talk to you can convert into clients, that means you're going to need 1,500 leads to generate those 300 customers. How are you going to do that? That's an awful lot. Well, let's take a look now. What does it cost you to acquire a new lead and convert a lead into a sale? If you have a lead cost of $25 and you need 1,500 leads, your total lead cost is going to be $37,500. Now on top of that, you have a conversion rate, remember, of 20%, so you need 300 customers. So that means, and let's just say that your conversion cost is $25. Your total conversion cost is $7,500. You add the $7,500 to the $37,000. Each customer then has to be worth $150 to you. You see, so if we're going to lose our customers, we've got to figure out how can we retain our customers longer? Instead of going out and replacing them at this extremely high cost, how can we keep our customers from defecting, from leaving us in the first place? Well, let's go back and take a look at how we can grow our profits 36% without doing any marketing whatsoever. Let's say that we have 1,000 customers right now, and we're going to lose 200 per year, so that's 20%. Let's say that our average sales transaction is $100, and we make, and our customers make 3 purchases per year with us. That comes out to $240,000. Now let's say that we don't do any marketing whatsoever. We keep our customer base at 1,000 customers. We cut our losses in half. By instead of 200, we're only going to lose 100. And how do we do that? We sales transaction. Let's just take a 10% increase in sales. So instead of $100, we're now going to get $110. Number of annual purchases are 3. That's and we take a 10% increase, that's 3.3 a year. Instead of buying 3 times, you get 3.3 a year. Now our profits, our revenue goes from $240,000 to $326,700. Now that's an $86,700 increase, or 36%, with very little effort, virtually no expense, and a business is only doing $240,000 a year in sales. See, it's a very small business to begin with. It's only $240,000, not even $250,000 business. But we can increase that by 36% with no money spent in marketing. All we've done is we've covered our customer losses by showing them how much we appreciate them, increasing the amount of the sales by 10%, increasing the number of times they buy by just 10%. You see, it's really not that hard. And when we start showing businesses how we can make exceptions sale, I'm going to reduce my profits, or reduce my cost rather, the sales price. Let's say that your margin is 30%. You're operating on a 30% margin. And let's say that you want to reduce your prices by 10%. You're going to have a sale. That means you've got to sell 50% more to make the same money. You say, well, that's hard to believe. Well, let's take a look. If we have a sales price of $100, and what we buy to sell people is $70, the profit then is $30, or 30%. So then, if we cut our prices by 10%, we're down to $90 instead of $100. Our wholesale cost stays the same. The profit now went from $30 down to $20. So it takes 50% more sales to make the same money. You see, this is why business owners, they'll go through they'll have a sale. At the end of the sale, they'll say, well, I don't understand. We brought all these people in. We sold all these Here's the thing. If you have a sale, nobody knows you had a sale until you told them. They don't know you're going to have a sale. You have to tell people. Now, the way we tell people in business is called advertising. Of course, advertising brings another cost that has to be added on to this. If we're going to bring in more people, we might have to have more stock, more inventory, more people. We'll have more merchant fees and credit card charges. We'll have more delivery costs. There's a lot of things that go together that are expenses that are not even reflected here. So that 50% increase in number of sales is going to have to be significantly higher to cover all those additional costs. See, this is how you talk to business owners and how you give them exceptional value, because they don't understand these basic things. Nobody's ever taught them. Now, here's another thing they don't understand. Every business has what we call a base of relationship buyers. They buy from that business for a certain reason. They have a relationship with them. Maybe it's your insurance company. You know you can go out and shop your insurance company every 6 months and maybe get a better rate on your car insurance. But you stay with that company for some reason. You might like the company, you might like the agent, or it might just be too much trouble to change from one company to another. But every company has a base of relationship buyers that stay with them from time to time, over time. They also have a base of transaction buyers, people who buy from them because of a transaction. So, for example, if one company has a low price, somebody will go to that company because of that transaction. They don't have a relationship with the company they were with before. They'll go to that company because of the transaction. Then another company has a lower price or some kind of a special offer. They'll jump from that company and go to the next one. And then another one has a lower price or offer of some kind. They'll jump and go to that one, and so on down the road. And what you find then is that people are going from transaction to transaction to transaction. And maybe you've done it yourself, but there are some businesses that you'll stay with because of a relationship. Well, here's what happens. The result is your good customers, your relationship buyers, are being penalized. They're paying more to subsidize or fund your marketing to attract more transaction buyers. The transaction buyers aren't even going to stay there. So the solution, so what's happening is the people who you have that you really want to keep, your good people, are being penalized and paying more because you're attracting the transaction buyers who you're going to lose money on because they're not going to stick around to make the second or third or fourth sale that you're going to need to break even on the ad. So the solution is to take good care of your good customers, develop relationships with them, know that they are worth more than the value of their initial sale. Remember, money comes in repeat sales, lifetime value, and referrals, and let them know that you truly care about them. Let's say that a business has 1,200 leads that they get every year, and the conversion rate is 20%. They convert 2 out of every 10 people who come into their store or their place of business. That's going to give them 240 customers. Let's say those customers make 4 transactions, or they buy from them 4 times during the year, with an average transaction value of $200. Their annual revenue then is going to be $192,000. If they have a profit margin of 50%, then their profit is going to be $96,000. The average buying lifetime, let's say, is 3 years. That means their profit over the lifetime of that customer is going to be $288,000. Now let's go back and take a look at what happens here. If we just have a 10% increase in that business, a 10% increase shows that we're going to take our business, the number of leads, from 1,200 up to 1,320. That's going to give us 120 additional leads. That's only 10 leads a month. If we divide 30 days into that, it comes out to 1 lead every 3 days. That's not hard at all to get 1 more lead every 3 days. Our conversion ratio, we had 20 people out of every 100, or 2 people out of every 10 that were buying from us. Now we're getting 3 out of every 10. We're just taking it up 10%. That's from 20 to 30 is a 10% increase. Number of customers, then that gives us 240 customers versus that we had versus 396 new ones. So we have 156 new customers now, which is 1 new customer every other day. How hard would that be? Not difficult at all. Now the number of transactions goes from 4 to 4.4. That's 1 more sale every 4.4 years. And there's a little formula down at the bottom of the table that shows how to do that. 1 more sale every 4.4 years. Our average transaction value, we just take that up 10% from $200 to $220. That's a $20 increase. Our annual revenue goes from $192 to $383. We've just doubled the business, 99.7% increase in that business. The profit margins, we take that from 50% to 60%. That's a 10% increase in profits. Our annual profits go up 139, almost 140% on profits. Now understand, we're only looking at a business that's doing $192,000 in the beginning. But now we're making them an additional from $96,000 to $229 in profits. That's a tremendous amount of profits. And we take the buying lifetime from 3 to 3.3, and our annual or lifetime profit value of that business goes from $288,000 to $758,000. That's a 163% increase. That's a lot of money. And we show business owners exactly how they can do that for very little cost, very little effort. So this just shows what happens here. This is a little screen that shows the effect of that and what the overall effect is. The next part of the puzzle is we want to create dependency from these business owners. And so the way we do that, we show them how they create results. And we show them a number of different things. How we can create more leads into paying clients. How we can do video marketing that compels action. Write sales letters that compel prospects to buy. Scripts to know exactly what to say and when to say it. How to raise prices without losing customers. How to cut costs and unnecessary expenses. How to make irresistible offers that produce sales. Create revenue-producing drip campaigns. Create low-cost or no-cost customer generators. Expand your products and increase customer revenues. Create elevator pitches that generate attention. Get emails read and acted on. Establish profitable joint venture relationships. Profit from trade shows and special events. Produce effective direct marketing campaigns. Increase your prices and still outsell your competition. Create profitable forced continuity programs. And how to find $10,000 of additional money, additional profits for them within 45 minutes in hidden assets and untapped marketing areas. So those are some of the things that you're going to do. Now we put it all together, and we want to leverage our relationships. So we let our clients do our selling for us. And the way we do that is we take them up this customer loyalty ladder. We take them from prospect or from suspect to prospect, then to customer, then to client, and then to advocate, and then to raving fans. To make them raving fans, so well, they want to go out and actually do our selling for us. We show you how to do that. And we don't necessarily work on word of mouth, and we don't like to work on referrals. We prefer to work with introductions. And there's a big difference between those three. We'll show you exactly what introductions are and how to work with those and why they're so profitable. Last question then is, where can I get the help I need to make it work and the support that I need if I run into problems? Well, we put it together in the Breakaway system. And that's exactly what I'll tell you about now. Here's the product that you're going to get when you come through our training. It's a business maximization course. It's all of this has completely been developed over 48 years of my been in business. I've trained almost 4,000 consultants in 48 countries, and we've been using this system. This is a reworked, a brand new system we put together that is producing results for our clients and consultants. The next thing you're going to get is a marketing consulting course. And this program right here is a product that you can use to sell yourself if you want to. It's all you have to do is, once again, go in and change your name on it, change my name, put your name on it, and now you have a course that you can sell to some of your clients, or if you have seminars, you can sell it at the seminar, at the end of the seminar. Here's what some of the things you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to work with hand-selected one-on-one clients. If you want to work with business owners on a one-on-one basis, this shows you exactly how to do it. How to do CEO roundtables, how to do lunch and learns, introductory seminars, small group workshops, multi-day workshops, how to work with mastermind groups, high-level mastermind groups where you can get a lot of money out of these people, how to work with build it, keep it, protect it sessions, or build it, keep it, grow it sessions, and all about product creation, how you can create your own products that you can sell at a profit. Help us at your fingertips when you work with us. You have email support, you have phone support, teleseminars and webinars, you get a complete resource library, and you can come back to our training anytime that you want at no additional charge. So what do the experts say? Well, Mal Emery is one of the most notable marketing experts in Australia. He says, Martin Halloway is one of the top business consultants in the world. This guy has Fortune 500 companies lining up to use his services because of the amazing results he can generate for any company. Martin has the most successful consulting program in the world. It's a system that any person could take out, follow the instructions, and then develop their own successful seven-figure coaching and consulting business. There's absolutely nothing that can compare to it anywhere in the world. Well, I'm flattered that Mal would say that because he's got one of the best consulting programs as well in Australia. Jeff Walker from the Product Launch Formula fame. He said, I was so happy to have you in Denver. You are critically valuable to the event. Your great energy and the great ideas really rounded out the experience for many of my attendees. In so many ways, I feel like a complete newbie at business when I look at all you've done. And David Fry, another marketing expert, who wrote a book called Marketing Best Practices, says, if you want to become a marketing consultant or add that service offering to your business, there's only one person I recommend. It's Martin Halloway. He has probably the best marketing consulting training I've ever seen. Martin's program is heads lacking in many business people nowadays. Well, it's nice of those folks to say, but we really have created the ideal business, helping other business owners recapture the dream when they first started the business. And that's really critical. We have to have an office, no overhead, no set hours, no travel, no inventory, no product spoilage, no advertising cost, no royalty fees. It's all set up where you can work right out of your home if you want to and make an occasional visit to your business owner's business. You get to call your own shots, choose the clients you want to work with, choose when you want to work from home, provide a valuable service, earn a substantial income, have an abundance of free time, live life on your own terms, and have a career that your mom would be proud to tell her friends about. And that's really important. You know, you want to be proud of what you do and the value you provide to others. So the perfect business really is business consulting. The market needs help. Business owners businesses. And you've looked around at those businesses and you've said, you know what, if this was my business, I wouldn't do what he does. I wouldn't do what she does. And I wouldn't do what those guys over there do. If this was my business, I would do this and this and this. And we could turn this business around. They're leaving money on the table. You've done that, and I've done that too. But you know, if you went to that business owner and you said, hey, I got some ideas here that can help you. Why don't you just pay attention to these things? Do these things and you can make a ton of money. They won't listen to you. And the reason they won't listen to you is because you don't have any credibility. And they're not looking for what you have to say right now. But if you can find a way to put them in touch with what you have and show them the benefits that you can bring to them, they'll throw money at you all day long. You see, just because you have the title doesn't mean that you're going to be a great consultant. You can call yourself a consultant if you want, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a great one. You've got to have the knowledge behind you. You've got to have the skills, and you've got to have the support to make it work. Now, what we remember I showed you the blueprint. How you can go through that blueprint and you connect the dots from point A to point B, and then it makes it very simple. So the blueprint is really what makes it simple. It's a system that you have. It's a systematic process. You follow step 1, step 2, step 3, and money comes out. And that's where our blueprint comes in, to show you exactly how to do it. Now, there are 8 critical things you want to know. First of all, how do I identify and select the target market? That's critical. You don't want to sell to everybody. You want to have a target market that you're going after. We show you how to select that market. Which are the best businesses to use? Which are the ones you want to stay away from? How do I get the gatekeeper to introduce me to the decision maker? How many times have you heard people say, how do I get past the gatekeeper? No, you don't want to get past the gatekeeper. You want that gatekeeper to be your best friend. The gatekeeper is there for a reason. They're there to keep out the riffraff, but they're also there to keep the good, to allow the good things, the good people, the good ideas to get to the decision maker. So how do we get the gatekeeper to introduce me on a favorable, non-salesy, non-threatening basis to the decision maker? We'll show you how to do that. How can I motivate the decision maker to want to do business with me? How do I uncover the problems, challenges, and areas of concern? See, so many times business consultants go into a business and say, okay, so you want to generate more customers. Okay, fine. What we need to do then is send out 5,000 more direct mail letters, put on 2 more salespeople, put on a couple of telemarketers. And what happens is all they can see is dollar signs going out the door. And that's not what you want. You're looking for how can we take what you're already doing, look at it, let's measure the success of it, how well it's working, and let's see if we can tweak it and make it work even better and more effective for you. Next question is, how do I determine the best way to help my client? We have a 50-page document that you go through and ask all these questions of the business owner to find out where the problems are. In the shortest amount of time, with the least amount of effort, the lowest amount of cost, and the least amount of risk. In other words, how can I quickly, easily, cost-effectively, and as risk-free as possible, put money in their pocket? That's really what we're looking for. Not how can I add more expense to them, how can I do this on a more cost-effective basis? And question number 6, how can I create long-term profitable relationships with my clients? Look, you want to have a long-term relationship. You don't want to work with somebody for 3 months or 6 months or for a project. That's losing. That's a losing proposition. You want to work with these people over a period of time. We'll show you how to get 3-year contracts for people. Why would they want, if you're producing results for them and bringing money into them, why in the world would they want to cut you loose and move on to something else? We're going to show you how to get 3-year contracts where you have somebody, now you're part of the business. You're a valuable part of the business, just like their attorney is a valuable part of their business, or their accountant, or their suppliers, because you really show you how to do that. How can I get my clients to do my marketing for me? We talked about that earlier. You want to get out of the marketing business. You want to go get yourself 4 or 5 or 6 clients and then get away from the marketing. And right in our contract, one of the things we build into our contract, it says this. It says if we achieve these certain benchmarks by this certain day or by this certain date, will you agree to introduce me to 2 other business owners who could realistically benefit from the services that we are offering you? That's in a contract, right? So when they sign that contract, they're agreeing to that. So when they agree to that, will you come back to them and say, hey, remember when we sat down together at the very beginning, and I told you this is what it says here, that if we receive these these ideas, these results by these dates, that you'd refer me to introduce me to 2 other people. You remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Well, here's what we've done. Let me ask you, when would be a good time for us to sit down and brainstorm who those ideas or who those people might be? So we have a whole system set up. I'll show you how to do that. We're not asking for a referral. You know how it works? You go into a business and you say, hey, who else do you know that could benefit from my services? Well, I don't know anybody. Nobody comes to mind right now, but if I think of somebody, I'll let you know. And what happens? They never get back to you. That's the wrong way to do it. That's the way everybody does it. It's the wrong way to do it. We're not going to look for names. We're going to look for appointments. I'm going to show you how to do that. So it makes it so easy. Next, what are the income opportunities as a business consultant? How can I make money in this business? That's really what you want to know, right? How can I make money in this business? Well, there are a couple of things. First thing is, there's some one-on-one consulting income opportunities. Show you how that works. You never work by the hour, and you never work by the project. You start working by the hour, and you're going to end up making more money over time than that business owner's making, and they don't like that. You work by the project, say, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go out and I'll do something for you. I'll do a project for you. As soon as that project's over, you're unemployed. You've got to find another project, or you've got to find another client. Let's don't do that. The way most of our folks work, they work on a retainer plus a contingency, or we'll say a commission. Here's an example, and these are just numbers. Our consultants are all over the board. Let's use these for an example. Let's say you charge $3,000 a month for a retainer and 10% of an increase over what they're currently doing. So we establish a baseline and say, here's what you're doing right now. Anything over and above that, I want 10% of, or whatever percent you negotiate with them. So let's just say we take that $3,000 times 12 months. That's $36,000 a year. Now, if we had 6 clients at $36,000 a year, that's $216,000, plus the increased percentage that we generate for them. Now, let's think about that a minute. Somebody says, well, nobody's going to pay me $3,000 a month. I mean, I'm only working here for a part-time basis. And wait a minute. If you go out visible, you have to give them an office, a furniture, a computer, a phone, plant in the office. You're going to have to pay payroll taxes, Social Security, you got medical expenses, medical insurance, you got 401k or retirement plans, you got all these other things that are in addition to the $36,000. And what kind of employee are you going to get in the first place? A support person, a secretary, a receptionist, a mailroom person, a warehouseman, a driver. These are important positions, but they're non-revenue generated. They're a total cost or an expense to the business. But you're going to walk in there, and $36,000 is all they're going to pay you, plus the percentage that you generate. Now, if you hire a salesperson, you'll probably have to pay that salesperson, if you're going to get any kind of quality salesperson at all, $50,000 or $75,000 or $100,000 as a base, plus the percentage, whatever they sell. Now, remember, that base is going to come with all these other hidden costs. Their office, if they have one, their furniture, the payroll taxes, Social Security, the medical, 401k, their and if they need a support person to back them, you've got to pay their costs as well. So you're going to get, they're going to get a real bargain for you, because instead of paying $50,000 or $75,000 or $100,000 on a base, they're only going to pay you $36,000 plus your 10%. See, the money for you is going to come in the percentage. That's where the real money is. But even with 6 clients at $36,000, it's $216,000. Now remember, some of our consultants are charging upwards of $5,000 a month, and depends on the percent. Some will go as high as 20%. It kind of depends on the margins of a business. We'll show you how to calculate those. There's some other ways you can make money as well. And one of those is by our 4-week workshops. We'll show you how to do a little 4-week workshop where we bring 10 people into a room. And let's just say, for example, this is just an example, we charge $3,000 for those folks. That's $30,000 that you're going to make for this workshop. And let's say we do one of these workshops per month at $30,000, that's $360,000. But at the end of the workshop, you're talking about your ongoing training. And let's say we charge them $100 a month for those 10 people. That's $1,000 you're going to get per workshop. And we can do that for 12 months. That's $12,000 a year. If we hold 12 workshops, one a month, per year at $12,000, that's $144,000. Now take that 144 and add it to the 360, you're at $504,000. Now, I want to stop here for a minute. I want to show you how this $3,000 is a drop in the bucket for the business owners, because of what you're going to teach them. This is one of the most fun things to do, one of the most profitable things you can do. And I'm telling you, you take this $504,000. If you can't do that, let's say I'm just not that good. I can't do $3,000. I can only do $15,000. I'm not comfortable with that. All right, well, cut that in half. It's still a lot of money. Well, I really can't get 10 people. I can only get 5 people. We'll cut that in half again. It's still a lot of money. Now, some of our consultants are doing this by itself, just doing these workshops. Give all the material, show exactly step by step exactly what to do. Some of them are saying, well, I want to do the workshops and I want to do some consulting. That's fine, so you can mix those two. Some say, I don't want to do workshops at all. I'm not comfortable speaking in front of a group. I just want to do consulting. That's fine. I'm going to show you how to do small event workshops with 10 people and make yourself $500,000. It's so simple. And you're going to work 3 hours a week. That's all you're going to work, 3 hours a week to do this, plus another hour to do the support, the ongoing training. You got 4 hours a week. Now, of course, you have to put some people in the room. They'll show you exactly how to do it step by step. I mean, it couldn't be easier. Now, in addition to that, we have CEO roundtables. We'll show you how to monetize that. We have guys that are charging $10,000 a year for CEO roundtables, right? $833 a month to come to a CEO roundtable. They meet for 3 hours. They show them exactly what to do. In the first hour, they're going to have somebody come in, an expert, to come in and talk to them about something. Whatever those people want to know about. It might be they want to know about workers' compensation. It might be they want to know about how to hire or terminate or how to do some human resources kinds of things. So they have somebody come in for that first hour and teach that. And then they take a break, and then you have the next hour where you talk about something business related, how to grow a business. And then you take a break and you come back for the next hour and you bring somebody out of the room and you bring them up and set them on a stool in front of the room and say, tell me, John, what are the biggest challenges you have in your business? And what are you trying to overcome? And then we use that as a hot seat. And the other people in the room, other business owners, are looking at this guy's business and telling him what he could do to fix that. And I'm telling you that $10,000, it's a bargain. And you have 10 people in the room. Side of town and put one together, the west side of town put one together, the north side and the south side. They got 4 of these going on. There's $400,000 in addition to the consulting they're doing, in addition to some of the workshops they're doing. These things are so much fun to do. Once you get comfortable doing these, they're just killer. Show you how to do 2- and 3-day workshops and seminars, how to do lunch and learns, how to bring people in. So you bring in 15 people, you bring 5, and you have 2 other presenters that bring in 5 apiece. You've got to buy lunch for 5 people, plus yourself, but you're going to get to speak to 15 people. And I'll show you exactly how to do that, how to set that up, how they're just killer, how you can knock down clients one right after the other from this. And how to create your own products. How can you create your own products that you can turn around and sell? Products that will make in the lives of the people who buy them. Well, these are just some of the things you're going to learn. There's a ton of things you're going to learn as well. But let's just go back and talk about how you can sell high. Now, the things we're going to teach are the exact same methods that hundreds of the world's most successful consultants and joint venture brokers use to create 6- and 7-figure incomes working only 3 to 4 days a week. That's the consulting end of it. And I'm telling you, with 3,863 consultants in 48 countries. I've been doing this for 48 years. This last company I had, we had almost 4,000 consultants. And I've seen people make a ton of money very, very quickly. It doesn't take much. You say, well, I don't have the experience. I don't have any sales. I don't have a big difference. I don't have any business experience. Let me tell you this. Every one of us have sales and business experience. We have it from the right side of the table. Look, if I have a business and I'm trying to sell you something, I'm coming from the business owner or the salesperson side of the table. I'm trying to sell you something. But on the other side, you're responsive to and what you're not responsive to. You know what you like to, how you like to be sold and how you don't like to be sold. You see, you do have sales experience. You do have business experience, but you have it from the side of the table that matters the most. And when you start applying what you know and what you like to business owners, and you start to say, listen, as a consumer, I'm not willing to buy based on the way you're selling. That's why these hot seats work so well. Because when you have a business owner up there and he's explaining what the problems are he has in business, and you have these other business owners out in the room trying to help him, they're business owners. They see things from the business owner side of the table, but they also see things from the consumer side of the table. You see, that business owner doesn't buy his own products, so he doesn't really know how other people see him. But we do. We know how we like to. We know how we see him. We know what we like about how he sells and how he doesn't like to sell. So no matter what your experience is or what you think you don't have, I'll show you how you can convert that into a business that will create a lifestyle that you really want and the income that will support it for you. So with that, let me turn some time over to Sohail. And Sohail, can you talk to us a little bit about joint venture brokering?
Yes, Martin, sure I can. So you've heard up until now Martin talk about consulting, and what I'm going to be doing now and covering is the joint venture brokering side. And I'm also going to explain to you the difference between the two. So I'll just switch over to my screen here from this slide here, and just let me know, give me a yes in the chat box if you can see my screen. It says the benefits of being a JV broker. So if you can see that, just please type yes. Oh, brilliant. Okay, excellent. And what I'll do is I'll keep Martin on the line anyway. And Martin, if you want to chime in at any time, you're welcome to do that. So here's the thing, okay? Consulting is great. It gives you that regular income, that regular cash flow on a regular basis to be doing 6 and 7 figures a year, okay? So you're maintaining regularly, like Martin spoke about, you know, working on a project basis or working on a consulting basis, okay? Consulting is what pays you on a regular basis, and it pays you big also. So I just want to let you know that most of what I do is a mixture of consulting and joint venture brokering. The great thing about joint venture brokering is you can do big deals. So, and I'll give you a few case studies, and I'll show you a few of my students who, you know, have closed, you know, 6 and even 7-figure deals, which means they can do one deal that can pay them out $100,000 or up to $1 million. So I'm going to take you through that step by step, exactly what my students are doing and how joint venture brokering works. And then we'll go into why I think right now combining joint venture brokering with consulting is probably the most powerful system of skills that any one person can make to have that regular cash flow of 6 and 7 figures, but also have the opportunity to do those bigger deals also. So first of all, let's look at some of the benefits of being a JV broker. So one of the great benefits of being a JV broker is, you know, as a JV broker, you make lots of money by simply being a middleman, a middle person who deals with companies or individuals on a regular basis. And, you know, you don't have to carry no stock. You don't have to literally, really, in essence, run your own business. You're just a broker in between brokering deals and finding deals between companies, which is pretty phenomenal. And we'll go more into that and how that works. Like I say, you don't need to spend years building a customer list or even creating products. And, you know, in joint venture brokering, you don't even have to really spend a lot of time going out there and, generating leads, to be honest with you, because what you'll be doing is you'll be working with companies, putting them together, finding them joint venture partners. Also, you don't need to do things like keep track of sales, chase people for money owed, or fulfill any of the sort of product orders, because that's all done by the joint venture partners and by the clients that you work with. All you do basically is you're stepping in, you're leveraging other people's resources, and you're making huge profits by just bringing people together. So this is the big difference between the consulting side and the joint venture brokering. And, you know, I've been training joint venture brokers around the world for, you know, the last 5 years. Martin's been training consultants for, as a long time compared to myself. over a couple of thousand consultants. So one of the things that I'm doing a lot of also is consulting. So I thought, who's got the best system on the market, the best program, and the best reputation in the market to be able to teach people how to do 6- and 7-figure consulting. So let me just take you through some of the things that I've done, and obviously, hopefully, most of you know who I am and have seen some of my training webinars before. But just give you an indication of what I'm pretty much famous for is making $1.5 million in a period of 30 days with a joint venture deal, and I'll take you through that very, very quickly. I found a list of 400,000 buyers. I contacted a company with a joint venture proposal. The product was a book called How to Use Your PC in 2 Hours, and I basically reformatted the product, turned it into a DVD video course using elance.com. It cost me $500, and I ended up relicensing it back to the company, and I got paid $7.50 a cut, basically as my broker fee. And we ended up doing a total of 201,000 units, and I made $1.5 million as my commission. So that's just one deal, okay? So that's a big difference between, consulting and joint venture brokering, but, both are very, very powerful in itself. Licensing is a lot of what I do, especially on the joint venture side, and that's what I teach mostly as well. And that's what allows you to do the bigger deals and make the bigger money. I'm also involved in online joint ventures, launches, for example, or being a broker connecting people. So here's an example, a guy called Chris Farrell here is pretty well known in the internet marketing industry, and a good friend of mine also, Mike Phil Same. I put these guys together. They launched a product called affiliate.com, and we did just over $4 million. So the numbers are pretty high. When it comes to deal making and doing joint ventures, the numbers in terms of what you can achieve are very, very high. And I'm going to show you exactly some case studies of how some of my students are doing $1 million deals. So, doing joint ventures is also very lucrative. I normally get paid $30,000 for a 1 day of JV consulting. So I do consulting, but specifically for strategic partnering for corporate clients. And here's me spending some time in New York, all paid for by a client of mine. They flew me over, put me up in the Mandarin Oriental, which I think was something like $5,000 a night in my own suite. And something I'm doing a lot of right now, and if most of you have been following me on Facebook or LinkedIn, is I'm working with a lot of Fortune 500 clients now, a very, very, very big clients. And I just closed a recent client, a $50 million company, and that's what I'm gearing myself for. So I'll be also teaching that and talking more about that in our upcoming program together, and I'll show people exactly how to do that. Also, joint venture brokering has allowed me to live in Dubai. We moved out into the Palm a few months ago, and that's where we've been currently living, in Dubai, and it's been phenomenal. And it's allowed us also to launch a brand new business, a brand new 6-figure business, which I actually launched for my wife, a publishing company in the Middle East, purely based on joint ventures. So I do practice what I preach. I not only train, and I also do joint ventures for a living as well. So it's something that I'll always do, because for me it's the quickest way to make 7 figures. So just quickly going into some case studies. Here's a student of mine. I met everyone actually in Mike Phil Sane's Marketers Cruise. We had a brief conversation over a dinner about what I do, and I explained to her how joint venture brokering works. 2 weeks after that, she contacted me and said, look, I'm working 2 and 3 jobs. I'm currently in medical school, and she's actually qualified now, so she's a qualified doctor. We had a strategy session. I enrolled her into one of my JV brokering programs, and I also connected her with a few of my contacts. Something I do a lot of for my students is I get involved in actual helping them do joint venture deals also. And 6 weeks later, she did her first joint venture deal, putting together a simple product owner with a list owner, which is how most joint ventures actually begin. The product was a $99 a month membership site, and in her first week she did 262 sales, taking a 20% cut. So she did $5,240 from that deal, but that was recurring. So she managed to do about $20,000 in that month with that deal. She was then approached by a drinks company in Miami, a high-end vodka drinks company, who heard about what she was doing, joint venture brokering. They said, can you find us some suitable joint venture partners? And I helped her put together a deal. She JV'd his drinks into the top nightclub chains in Miami. Her cut was $35 a case. We made sure in the contract and agreement there was a minimum of 2,000 order commitment, and she made $70,000 with that one deal, which is pretty phenomenal, you know, considering that she was working 2 or 3 jobs to pay for medical school. One deal made her $70,000. So it's pretty cool what you can do with joint ventures. Another case study here, another one of my students, Mark, completed my JV brokering program, originally looking to do a small joint venture. And I said to him, look, brokering deals is, you can go as big as you want. So I advised him to just go out and do some big deals. So he went through his own database and found a teddy bear manufacturer on his list. He then contacted one of the largest gift suppliers in the UK with a proposal, and they put together a joint venture deal. The gift supplier ended up ordering 60,000 teddy bears in year 1, and Mark picked up a fee of $45,000 as his joint venture broker commission. Now, the funny thing was, a lot of people, you know, asked me, you know, teddy bears. I mean, what's the deal with teddy bears? Now, his was very specialist. The proposal that he approached the large gift supplier was for reggae teddy bears, but basically Bob Marley style teddy bears. So that landed him the deal. All he was the middleman between the manufacturer and the supplier, and basically he picked up $45,000 on that order of 60,000 teddy bears, which is pretty cool. He did literally nothing, you know, he just used his joint venture brokering skills and put together a deal, and bam, he made $45,000. This is a really good case study of what you can also do with joint venturing deals online. Dan enrolled onto my JV broker program, and he wanted to make money quickly, okay, because most people say to me, oh, you know, I need to make money quickly, I want to make money quickly. So we thought, okay, what's the quickest way for you to make money using joint ventures? So he approached one of the US's biggest internet marketing event organizers, okay, with a proposal. He then contacted me and said, look, Sohail, I've got a deal here. This guy's got an event that he wants me to promote. Can you help me connect with some joint venture partners? So I connected him with some joint venture partners to promote the event. And the event was a 60-minute webinar. And at the end of the webinar, they had sales of $50,000, and Dan picked up 25% as his commission. So he made a quick, a quick 5 figures at the end of that webinar. This has got to be my most outstanding student to date. John is a guy from Ireland, very, very switched on. Came onto my JV brokering program. Now, he was already involved in doing real estate deals, but wanted to learn how to put together a corporate JV deals, okay, which is what I do a lot of. So he approached a software company in Ireland and managed to connect them with a major distribution company in the US. And that deal he closed, and it was $2 million in just year 1. Okay, so that deal for the first year bought him in $2 million, and he took 15% of that $2 million as his JV broker commission. So it's pretty big, the sort of fees that you can earn for deals. But that wasn't enough for him. You know, he did a second deal, and he closed the deal with Microsoft, based in Ireland, and that deal basically he picked up $960,000 as his commission. So it's pretty cool, and there's some really, really cool things you can do using joint ventures, especially brokering joint ventures. So a brief background to myself. Early 2011, probably a bit before that, I started my joint venture broker business program, and not as much as Martin, but I've trained over 50 joint venture brokers around the world, and obviously more JV brokers are needed because I get approached every day with proposals, and I can't really keep up. And I seem to nowadays I'm working with very big companies like Fortune 500, but I always have deals on the table, so I need more people to do those deals wherever they are in the world. So just a quick testimonial from one of my students, one of my recent students actually, Mary Kay Ellen, about my joint venture brokering business program. She says, Sohail's course was a 3-day immersion into JV brokering. The way Sohail presents it is excellent because he breaks up into each segment each day. The groups are small, which is nice, and it's very interactive. Sohail is so competent in this field, I just wish I could have cloned him. He really is a master and explains everything so well. When you're finished on the 3rd day, you really feel that you can do this. I really would recommend this program because Sohail delivers from his end. It would be up to you to take action, and he's with you every step of the way. He makes it clear that the weekly calls are a must from the beginning, and this has been great for me because it's about accountability. With other very expensive programs I've done in the past, it was after the course you are set out on your own with no personal one-on-one like Sohail offers. So, both me and Martin offer, unlimited support on our programs, and that's what you really need to be able to be very successful, whether it's consulting or joint venture brokering. So what if, okay, you could get both joint venture brokering and consulting and acquire both of those skills. And literally both those skills have allowed me to carry on doing 7 figures a year very, very easily, and I could easily bump that up to 8 or 9 figures if I really wanted to push the boat out and put the potential there. So what if you could get a $30,000 consulting program, which is what Martin normally sells his program at, and my program is normally $15,000 for my joint venture program. But not only that, what if you could get both in one place, including 2 7-figure mentors, okay, which is quite phenomenal. We charge, way over 100K a year for personal one-on-one, and we don't even do that anymore, to be honest with you. But this is something that we would provide to all the people who are interested in coming into our combined program. So what is our combined program? It's called the Ultimate Business Consultant Program, okay, and it's taking place in February 2014 in Las Vegas, and I'll tell you the dates in a second, but just give you a brief overview of what it includes, okay? You get my live JV broker training compared with, together with Martin's live consulting training, all together over 5 days. You get unlimited support, which is pretty cool. Normally, we both charge for that, but this is included in the program. And I'll explain to you also why it's included. You get the book lead generation system. This is something that I use also. As you know, most of you know, I've got an international best-selling book that I've launched, and that book has allowed me to get into a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and we'll be providing you with your own book, which will have elements of consulting and joint venture brokering in there also. You get all the reports, as Martin's mentioned, all the tools and templates you need to be successful at consulting and joint venture brokering. And also, what's really priceless is access to 2 7-figure mentors. Now, if Martin's there, I'm going to get Martin to explain, the 3 goals for this program, the Ultimate Business Consultant Program, and our true commitment to you. So if I bring the first one up, you there, Martin?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so the first one is, we want you to recoup your initial investment in 30 days. That's correct, Martin, right?
Yes, that's right.
And why is that? And how important is that for us to make sure that everyone gets that initial investment back within 30 days?
Well, it's critical. We don't want people to be out money out of their own pocket very long. We've done this over and over and over in our consulting practice. How do you get that money back in your pocket in the first 30 to 45 days? I've seen so many people out there who charge exorbitant amounts of money for a training program, and then they just leave you and don't give you any support, don't give you any follow-up support or any assurance. So our goal here is to try to get that money back in your pocket as quickly as we can, so that you can now start putting money in your own, in your own pocket. Not working from the deficit. It's working from a positive cash flow.
And I agree with you. I've had so many people who have come onto my programs and Martin's programs who have paid more considerably for some programs, but because they didn't get the support and they were left on their own, they had no choice but to join someone else's program who offered that support. So this is one of the main reasons why we think it's important. The next goal for us is to help you achieve a 6-figure income within 120 days. And both me and Martin stand by this. It's the whole reason for people coming onto our programs to get to that 6-figure mark, or even become a 7-figure consultant. And finally, one of the goals that we want for you is to hit the $250,000 income in your first year. We're looking for high-paid consultants. We're high-paid consultants ourselves, so we're looking to train more people to go out there and do the same. And do you want to just briefly expand on that, Martin? Is that okay?
Well, absolutely. These were 3 critical goals for me. And this is what I try to achieve with all of my consultants to come on, even those who are paying $30,000. I want that money back. Is because it allows us, if we can do that for you, it allows us to then be able to say, we've done it for these people, we can do it for someone else. We can do it for you too. Now, I've already shown you, when I went through the numbers, a couple of different ways where you can achieve this. Like, remember I told you if you had 6 clients at $36,000 a year, that's $216,000 right there, not even counting your percentage. But what if you cut that in half? What if I can't get, 6 clients? What if I only get 3? Well, you're still, instead of 216, you're 108. That's not bad with 3 clients. Well, what if I can't charge $3,000 a month? I can only charge $1,500. You're still at $90,000, which is more than probably 80% of the people in the U.S. are even making. And what are you working? You're working with 3 clients at $1,500, and we haven't even factored in the percentage increase. We haven't factored in any workshops. We haven't factored in any CEO roundtables or anything else you want to do. I've already shown you several different ways you can do that $250,000 mark. Easy. In fact, I've shown you one way that you can do $504,000 in your first year if you just get out there and do it. And I'll show you step by step exactly what you do to do it. You see, I've done this so many times in the past. When we got 3,863 consultants, I think we had, we get to that number, we had to do something right. And we've hit these 3 figures over and over and over and over. Here's why it won't work for you. There's a couple reasons why you won't be able to do it. Number 1, you're lazy. Number 2, you don't follow directions. You try to reinvent the wheel. And believe me, that happens. You pay big money to come to a program, and then you go back out and say, well, I'm going to reinvent the wheel. I'm not going to do it that way. I got my own way to do it. That's dumb. Why would you do that? The next reason it might not work for you is because there's a family emergency that came up that you just weren't able to do it. Another reason you might not be able to do it is because you have a job that you're working, and you can only do this part-time, and you can't devote yourself 100% to it. But what if you only did it part-time and did half what I'm telling you can do? You're still making an awful lot of money. So these 3 goals are critical for us to have everybody hit, and we'll do everything in our power to help you hit those.
And here's the secret weapon, okay? Joint ventures and deal making also. I have students who have closed $1 million deals within sort of 60 to 90 days of leaving my program. So, and I've had students do easy 5-figure deals a week or even a weekend after leaving my program. So that gives you more of an opportunity, and us more of the opportunity to hit those goals. Recouping your initial investment in 30 days, yes, you close 1 deal, that's great. Achieve a 6-figure income, you can make 6 figures within 120 days by closing 1 deal. $250,000 income in your first year, well, if you closed a $500,000 joint venture deal, $1 million joint venture deal, hey, you're done for the first 4 years. So this is, we really have tried to, put as much as we can together to make sure that we can meet those goals, and those are the main goals for us. Okay, so your commitment is to come on the program and go through the training and apply the training. Okay, and also reach out to us in terms of support wise and tell us exactly what you're doing so we can help you. These are our commitments to you, and I think it's very important. Whatever program you purchase, regardless of whether it's ours or not, you've got to make sure that the program creators or your mentors or whoever you're training or learning from, they have to have a commitment to you. Okay, they need to be able to have some goals that they want to be able to achieve for you also. Okay, so that's basically our commitment to you on this program. So moving forward, like I mentioned, this is a 5-day program, and we've combined our programs together to do a very big program, and it's a very intensive program as well. And just to take you through the format, on day 1 we'll talk about the marketing process in terms of how to market yourself as a consultant. Day 2 we'll cover the actual consulting process, how to go through the actual consulting process, and actually once you've got a client, exactly what you need to do next. Okay. Day 3 will be follow-up and accountability in terms of now you have the client, now you're consulting, what do you do now? Okay, and then we'll also cover things like expert credibility. Now, if you want to be doing, the higher figure, 6- and 7-figure, even 8-figure deals like I do, I'll teach you exactly step by step the system that I teach my brokers and what I do to become visible in the marketplace. And then on day 4, we'll do some joint venture brokering training, and I'll take you through step by step exactly how that works. And you know what? I may even have 1 or 2 of my students drop in as well, also possibly, because I do have some students in Las Vegas who are very successful at brokering. And day 5, it's all about deal making. Showing you I'm going to basically show you step by step what I'm doing. I don't normally reveal it, and to be honest with you, I'm looking at myself at charging other people and showing them exactly how I get these Fortune 500 clients. But at this program, Martin suggested, and actually he told me that it's a must, and I am going to do it. So I'm going to reveal to you exactly how I'm getting these big Fortune 500 clients to do big consulting deals, and I'll be covering that at the event, at the program. So here's the deal, guys. It's strictly limited to 15 places only. We like to keep our programs nice and small, and this is both me and Martin together combining our programs and giving you something that's pretty phenomenal. This is why we call it the Ultimate Business Consultant Program. So right now, if you can write this down, Las Vegas, 23rd of February to 27th of February. Make sure you write those dates down. It's in Las Vegas. And the total value of the package is well over 145,000 if you tally up exactly what you're getting. This program, we are actually going to sell it for about $40,000. That's going to be the price point that we're going to actually wanting to sell this program to. But we want to do something special for you guys on the webinar, and actually, for those of you watching the webinar also, we want to do something special for you. First of all, why offer a discounted price? Okay, so everyone does this. Everyone says, okay, it's this, but you have to pay this. But we have a reason why we want to offer you a discounted price if you want to come on board straight away. Like I said, we'll be looking at selling this program between $30,000 to $40,000. And to be honest with you, it should be even more than that, because combining our programs, it is actually more. However, if you join our first group of Ultimate Business Consultants in Las Vegas in February as a charter member, we'd like to offer you a discount, because here's the thing, we want your feedback on the results you get from our new program that would enable us to go out there into the marketplace and sell this program for $30,000 to $40,000. Okay, so that is what ultimately the program will be selling for. So here is what we want to do for you. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so this is a special webinar only offer for the Ultimate Business Consultant Program. Again, like I said, it's 23rd of February to 27th of February in Las Vegas. Normally it's $40,000, but here's the thing, right? We had 15 places, but now there's just 9 places left. So we genuinely have just 9 places left. Again, and places are going pretty quick. So if you really want to jump on this, you definitely want to look into this and see if it fits you and if it suits you, and if it's something that you really, really want to do. Here's the deal. Okay, you just pay $5,000 up front to come to the 5-day training program in Las Vegas, and then the remainder is $2,000 over a period of 3 months. So you pay $2,000 a month over 3 months after you've come and complete the program, had all the materials, and including all the support as well. So our intention is really for you to recoup that payment within 30 to 45 days, and then over the next 3 months, while you're doing deals and while you're taking on new clients, it's all covered with your outlay. Or if you want to, you can make 2 payments of $5,000 each, which is $10,000 instead of paying $11,000 over the installment. Okay, so this is phenomenal. None of us has ever done this before. We normally sell our programs straight out $15,000 to $30,000, but this is something we want to do to get you in as a charter member to the first group and the first program. So this at least gets you into the program and started towards your very own 6- and 7-figure ultimate consulting business. And it's phenomenal what you get. You're going to get a lot in this program to help you build that momentum very, very quickly. Okay? So what's the next step? So here's the thing. If you're serious about this program, if you're serious about earning 6 and 7 figures as a joint venture broker and a consultant, as an ultimate business consultant, ask yourself this question. Okay? What is it really costing you to stay where you are? So, you're thinking $5,000, that's what it's costing me to come to the program, but what is it costing you to stay where you are? It's costing you a hell of a lot more than $5,000 up front to stay where you are, instead of coming to the program and learning about where to get yourself out of where you are to where you want to be. Okay? So the next thing to do is, if you're interested in the program, like I said, we go through a selection process, because not everyone is perfect for the program, but we want the perfect people for the first program, because we need to be able to achieve our 3 goals and be able to give you those results. And the only way we'll be able to do that is by talking to you and finding more about your background. And it's not always about people just giving us money for the program. We've even turned away people. I've done it. Martin's done it, who are not a right fit for the program, because we can't either work with them in a way, or we don't think we can help them achieve those goals that we set, because we want you to get your money back as soon as quickly. Okay, So here's the website, www.ultimatebusinessconsultant.com. Go to that website right now and click on the big orange yellow button and book your discovery call with both myself and Martin. That will bring up a website called Time Trade, and just go in there and just select the dates that you want to have a discovery call. That's your opportunity to ask more questions about the program, okay? It's not a sales call. It's not our opportunity to sell to you. That's your opportunity to get on a call and ask us questions about whether the program is right for you or not. So again, go to www.ultimatebusinessconsultant.com right now, and just fill in the details. Book yourself in for a call, and we'll get on a call and we'll see if we can help you. If we can, and you're qualified for the program and you come on board, it'll be amazing, and we really look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas. So before we go into Q&A, you can start putting your questions in the chat box, guys. I mean, about 90% of you guys are still on the webinar, and I know I did say about the consulting checklist, and I've got your names, so you guys would get a copy of the consulting checklist. Thank you. If that's what you stayed here for, then you're welcome to leave. If you want to ask more questions, please put your question in the chat box right now, and then we'll go through them. But Martin, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, just a couple of things. You know, you asked a question. Yes, you say, well, the cost is $10,000. That's really not the cost. The cost is, that's the investment. The cost is what is the difference between what you would spend and what you would make. So, for example, if I have an opportunity to make, say, $250,000, and it costs, and my investment to make that is $10,000. If I don't make the investment, then I lose $240,000. I lose the $250,000. If I make the investment, I put $10,000 in, but I make $240,000 back. So my profit on that, on the return on my investment is $240,000. So the cost really to stay where you are is the difference between what you could make was $250,000 minus what you're currently making at your regular job. So if you're making $100,000 at your job, but you could be making $250,000, the cost is $150,000. And I'll just tell you that the whole reason we're doing this, and you know, in my case, like I mentioned, I sold my business for 8 figures. It's the sixth one I've sold for that. It's the thing that's the most important to me is my family. I showed you a picture of my family to begin with. Sohail just had a brand new baby. These things are important to us, and as I'm sure your family is to you as well. And when I got my cancer, you know, 4 years ago, and I've been battling this thing for 4 years now, and I mentioned that it's some of it's in remission, but I've got this a third type of stage 4 cancer I've had. I realized that you know, we're only here for a short time, and we've got to do something that really counts while we're here. Provide for your family. Give them the things that they really want, the things that they deserve. You have a life here. You don't have a limited amount of days here. And so spend that time doing something you really want to do and making it productive. If you've got to go to work every day, why would you go to work at something where you have to drive in the traffic every day? You've got to sit in an office or do a job that you really don't want to do, working for somebody else. He thinks or she thinks you're worth instead of what you're really worth. You know, I look at this and I think, I can't imagine. I've seen people come in here, like I mentioned, we've got like 4,000 consultants. I've seen people come in who don't have any experience at all, that don't have any background at all in business, and how they turn around and made themselves a ton of money, and they're enjoying life, they're enjoying themselves. So if you're going to do something that not only provides value for other people, but something that you can be rewarded handsomely for. You only got so much time. Why spend it doing something you don't want to do? If you're really interested in this kind of thing, you think you want to maybe take a step at it. You know, the risk is pretty low when you look at the investment in this program versus what you can get. And I'll tell you this, Sohail and I will both bust our rear ends to try to help you be as successful as possible, as quickly as possible. That's the goal. So you can do what you want to do when you want to do it, and not what you have to do when you have to do it. You know, I have a good friend of mine who he has a job, and his kids are in sports at school, but he can't. What kind of a life is that? You want to be able to take time off and go spend with your kids. Well, I've got 6 kids. They're all married. They're all gone out of the house. We've got 31 grandkids now. You know, I want to go to the games. I want to be there with them. I want to see what they're doing. We got a wrestling match, a high school wrestling match I have to go to in just a little while this afternoon. So I want to be there for them. Then we've got a football game. Football. So we got basketball. One of my grandsons is a star basketball player on this team. I want to be there for those games. It's important for me to be there. It's important for the parents to be there. So take a look at what you're doing right now and say, how much is this costing you to stay where you are? Figure out what you're making now, what you could make, subtract that, that's the difference. And then take a look at your time. What's it costing you for your life and your family and what you could have? So I just encourage you, if there's something you want to do, I don't know anybody that will work any harder than what Sohail and I will do. We've already proven it over and over and over. The track record's there. It's not whether or not our system is on trial. Our systems aren't on trial. The system will work. So that's all I have to say. So you did a great job. Thank you very much for joining me today.
No, thank you very much. And like I say, I consider Martin as one of my mentors also. Consulting is a big thing for me. And, I'm the same, recently, becoming a dad, becoming a father. It's like, for me, it's like I want to play it smart. I want to spend time with my family. And consulting does that for me. It allows me to work with clients and also pick what clients I want to work with. But we've got a couple of questions anyway, so which is cool. So Patrick says, Martin, what other costs are there to get up and running, i.e. marketing budget, etc.?
Well, that's a great question, and it's one that everybody should ask. Here's the cost. You've got to have a place to work out of, right? It could be an extra bedroom or someplace in your home. You don't have to have an office. You don't have to have employees. You should have a computer, obviously. It should be hooked up to the internet. You really don't need a fax machine anymore. I mean, fax machines are kind of old and outdated. We can use scanners now. We can get by. As marketing materials, we're going to show you how you can go out and do some marketing without having to spend any money. And that's it sounds like it's a stretch, but it's really not. Look, the last thing you want to do is go pound on doors or go drop 5,000 letters in the mail. We have some people that do that. They go and they read a list or something, and they get these business. If that's what you want, that's fine. But I will tell you this: there are several ways that you get a message in front of somebody. The easiest thing there is to get ignored, or the easiest way to turn off, is you send somebody an email. See, if you send somebody an email, they don't have to open it, or they don't even have to read it. They can just hit the delete button if they want, or they can let it sit on their computer and say, someday I'll get back to this, but I can't do it right now. It'll sit there, and eventually they'll delete it. The email is the easiest thing there is to get rid of. A letter is the next easiest thing there is to get rid of, because somebody can just scroll up and throw it away. They don't have to pay any attention to it. The next most difficult thing there is to get rid of is a phone call. You got somebody on the phone, and you're talking to them, and it's a little bit hard sometimes to get rid of them. I mean, you might say, well, hey, I've got another appointment or something comes up or something, but generally you're pretty nice to people, so you just don't blow them off. The hardest thing there is to get rid of is a body. Now, you get out of the prison and say, why are you here? The guy will say, because I couldn't get rid of the body, right? So a body, if you can put a body in front of somebody, that's the most difficult thing to get rid of. If you can find a way to get your body in front of somebody, that's the easiest thing there is to do, the easiest way there is to make a sale. Now, I'm not saying knock on doors or anything else. I'm saying we find a way to get you in front of people on a cost-effective, in other words, it doesn't cost you very much money, non-threatening, non-salesy. We're not here to sell you something. We're here to provide value, show you how to do that. Then that's the easiest way to make sale. Now, you can go out and make 20 presentations with talking to 20 people, or you can make one presentation and talk to 20 people. So we're going to show you how to do that, how easy it is and how much fun it is to do the marketing. So cost-wise, you're really not looking very much at all. So just as a cushion, but you can get by with actually really no money. I'll show you how to do that as well.
Like I do the same thing with all my consultants or my brokers. I show them ways to typically network and go to find the right places to find clients and find joint venture partners. So another question we have, Martin, is Dwayne has asked, typically how much time is spent per month for a 3K retainer?
Oh, great question. Yeah, initially you got to start. You got to have to pay a little bit, spend a little bit more time, right? Because you've got to go in. First of all, let me explain what the retainer's for, because that's really critical you understand that. The retainer is, there's two parts of the retainer. First of all, when you go in and sit down with a business, you can't just go in and say, okay, let's do this and this and this. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to have to show the person something to do, but it's based on your research. So you've got to go in and find out a little bit about what the company's doing, right? What are you currently doing? How is it working? What else could we do? We look at four things. What are you doing now that you should not be doing? What are you doing now that you should be doing more of? What are you not be doing? What are you not doing that you should be doing more, that you should be doing? And what are you not doing that we should be doing more? So we take a look at four different areas, really. We look at those things and say, here's what the business is now, and here's what we need to do to fix that. So we take a look at the business. We're going to take a look at the competition and see what they're doing, because sometimes we don't want to go head-to-head with the competition on certain areas, right? There are certain things that they're just better than us, so we don't want to go head-to-head with them. But there are other areas that we could go head-to-head with them. Can we take that and can we model it? Can we improve it doing? We want to take a look at the employees. What do the employees say about the company? What do the employees say about their working conditions? What do the employees say about their customers? What do the employees say about the competition? So we're going to interview the employees, because sometimes the employees will have ideas that the owner has never even thought about. And the other thing we're going to take a look at are customers. We want to interview some of the customers. What do you like about this business? Why did you come here in the first place? What keeps you coming back here? What are the products or services you like from this business? What are some of the challenges you see with this business? If you were to wave a magic wand over this business and change one thing, what would it be? What would you like to see them do more of? What would you like to see them do less of? You have a whole series of questions. So the retainer is going to pay you for all of that, right? So it's going to take a little bit of time to get that information. Not very much time. It's going to take you a little bit of time to do that. So initially, you're going to have to put some time in with the business. Now, the retainer pays for that, but also the retainer is a pay point for the business owner. And what I mean by that is the business owner, every time they write out a check, that should hurt them. They should say, oh, this hurts when I write this check out. And the reason is because that check that they're writing to you, or that deposit they're making in your bank account, is a cost to them. And the last thing they want is another cost, another expense. The only way they're going to get a return on that investment of that check they're writing to you is if they do what you tell them to do. So if I say to you, here are the things that we need to do in your business, and you don't do them, then you're not going to get a return on that check. But if I say do these things and you go out and do them, then you have a chance to make some money, and that will offset the check. So the retainer really is a motivation for them to do the work. It pays you for your work, but it's also a motivating factor for them to do what you tell them to do. Remember, you're a consultant. You don't lick and stick envelopes. That's not what you do. You're not an employee. Retainer is a motivation for them. Well, what's the motivation for you? You got to make it fair, right? The motivation for you is you're only getting $3,000 a month, or whatever amount you negotiate. The real motivation for you is the big bulk of your money is going to come in on the percentage. So if I charge you $2,000 a month, or $3,000, or $4,000, I can't live on that. I've got to have more than that. So that in order for me to make more money, I've got to go out and produce for you, so I get a percentage of what we generate. You see, so there's a motivating factor on both sides. So initially, you're going to have to spend a little bit of time with this business, maybe a couple of days a week for the first 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And then it's going to slow down after that, because you're going to come in and you're going to take a look at the systems you've already installed, see how they're doing, see what kind of tweaks we need to do to make them work better. We set those on autopilot, and we go out and we get another one. You remember the guy in the circus, and he's got this big stick, like a pole, a broomstick, and on top of it he spins plates around. And pretty soon he gets another one going, and another one going, and another. He's got 10 plates going. See, so there's only so many systems he can put up in place. But if he were to hook an electric motor to that pole and keep that thing spinning, he could get as many places as he wanted. And that's our goal here. Let's get a system installed, and let's get it to working on autopilot. So we get another system installed and get that on autopilot, get another one installed. So see, pretty soon, all you have to do is come back and spend a couple of hours a week with each one of these businesses and keep these little processes going. So initially, you spend a little bit of time, but as time goes on, you'll spend less.
You know, I do something similar. You know, most of my brokering projects and consulting, it's done over a period of time. So I may charge anywhere between 20 to 30K up front as a retainer, and then do between 3 and 4 months prep work for a client, and then everything after that is a percentage. So we could have a, you know, whatever I bring in for them over the 12-month period is a percentage, and that's what allows me to make sort of you know, the 6 figures and the 7 figures is from those deals. But I also charge a retainer for that amount of time that it takes me to set up the platform for the client. Once the platform's set up, then obviously I take a percentage after that. Something I've done in the past as well is I've owned the rights to marketing materials or to a platform, for example, and if the client wanted to take it over, you know, they would pay me you know, a fee to walk away and hand it over. But nowadays I just set up the platform for a client. It's theirs, 100% they keep it after that period, and once they've paid me my commission over a period of time, I walk away and it's theirs and they can run it themselves. So that's pretty much how both work. Okay, so guys, if you've got any more questions for us, please put them in. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the replies that you've given us throughout the training. I hope you really found the training beneficial. And like I said, if you're really interested in coming on board and getting both of myself and Martin to train you and you know, build you a 6 and 7 figure consulting business and help you become an ultimate business consultant, please go to that URL now, www.ultimatebusinessconsultant.com. I've seen a few people go there right now and book in their time slots. Now the time slots are limited. Every day we have a certain amount of time slots that we give away, so please go there now and book in your time slots, or else, you know, you'll have to wait for another time period to put those time slots in, and you won't get a chance to speak to us straight away. So guys, if you've got any more questions, please put them in the chat box. If not, then I think we'll end the training webinar here right now because we've gone a bit over. Thank you guys. Thanks for your comments. We've got people in Australia, Malaysia, and pretty much all over the place. So and guys, if you're watching the replay of this, thank you very much for joining us again and taking time out. And again, go to that URL, www.ultimatebusinessconsultant.com, and make sure you sign up for, it's a no obligation, it's not a sales call, it's just for you guys to ask us any more questions about these, this 5-day program. So if that's all we have, I think that's it, Martin. I think we're pretty much finished then. So Martin, thank you very much for your time also, coming onto the training webinar today, sharing some amazing things. Even I made notes of things that I could use, and obviously if we're going to be together in Vegas, so I definitely want to pick your brains when I'm there as well to see, you know, how we can help all the people on the training program become even more successful. So Martin, thank you very much again, and it was great to have you on the webinar today.
Thank you. Nice to be with you as well.
Brilliant. Okay, excellent. So that's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up there, and thank you very much, guys, for coming onto the program today. And you, all of you guys who stayed to the end, you will get a copy of the consulting chat list. And for those of you guys interested in the program, again, go to that URL right now, www.ultimatebusinessconsultant.com. Thank you.